Hey, what's going on, y'all? My name is Chris Isom from Beaumont, Texas, Southeast Texas. Hey, let's get it. My business, man, is Isom Zone LLC. I've been incorporated for about 10 years now. What we do is we put on health and wellness events around the city. In addition to that, we have private clients as well and also public clients. Currently, in addition to that, I'm also working on a children's book as well. I've been in and out of education for about 10 years. So my children's book is related to my business, and it's covering mental health and well-being, as well as physical education and proper nutrition. And I wanted to tailor it toward that because I think there's a lot of things in our society, especially when it's tailored toward the youth, that we're just not speaking to them in a holistic manner. And so my business is, again, holistic health and wellness, private and public accounts, as well as working with our youth.
How Isom Zone came to be from, because I know there's a backstory there, and I'd love to learn a little about it. We'll take like, a good 3 minutes to kind of chop that up, and I'd like to give you that and share with us like what got us to that point and what got you to, this vision, because you got that vision. I see your vision, man, and I think it's really dope. So, you can let me know, man, what was that about?
Man, first of all, shout out to Ghost, man, for setting this up or at least connecting us, man. Like I say, this is our first time officially meeting.
Yeah.
But man, it's cool, man, because I met Ghost last week at a convenience store. Oh, man,
that's how it happened.
That's how it be happening, dude.
That's how it happened.
Yeah, he was like, man, you still got your business? And I was like, yeah, man, I still got my business. I'm still doing quite a few things in the health and wellness space. In particular, man, my foundation and my passion is for our people too. So I think it's interesting, man, that you got MoneFi that's actually servicing our Black and brown people.
Yeah.
With that being said, man, I was sharing him some excerpts from my book that I'm creating as well. And so anyway, man, from then on, I mean, just a week later, here we are. So I wanted to give a shout out to Ghost, man. Appreciate you, brother. But man, 10 years ago, man, I used to play professional basketball overseas.
I couldn't tell just by
hiding, So, but now, man, upon leaving, so think about this for a second, man. When you're an athlete, right? Yeah. So you got thousands of people screaming at you and cheering. Yeah. And then when you stop doing that, you're like, now what? And so for me, having a job, I knew that wasn't my route to freedom.
Your calling.
That wasn't my calling.
I got you.
And I obviously got to have a means to an end, but I knew what my calling was. So I'm gonna just tell y'all this backstory, and I'll make it brief. Is when I stopped playing professional basketball, man, my calling, my God said, listen, if you're going to discontinue playing basketball, which is something that you grew up loving, right? Then you have to be able to give this energy, these skill sets to either our youth in our community. And that's what I've been doing ever since, man. Now, when it comes to the business side of things, of course, you're doing business without actually being a business, meaning you're not even a LLC. You're just doing it, right? And then so not only are you working a few jobs, I appreciate your story too, man, because it feels like you was hustling as well. You're working these jobs, and also too, you're working your business. Yeah, you're not even understanding like a business acumen. You don't even understand what it takes to even be a business owner. And then over time, I realized, like, man, I'm just as exhausted working for my business. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might as well be working a set full-time job. So in and out of that, man, one of the things that I did, in addition to owning my business, is working in education, like I talked to you about. Wow. I've been a coach. I've been an athletic coordinator.
So you actually worked at in the system here in Texas.
Oh yeah, education. Most definitely, absolutely. And that's derived a lot of my knowledge and skill set when it comes to community. Yeah. A lot of my skill set and a lot of the schools I worked for and with have been Title I schools. So these are underserved and marginalized communities. And so these are people that are lower income and our Black and brown population, and that's my passion too. Because for me, I didn't want to necessarily help the overdog. I wanted to help the underdog. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so
I feel that, man.
Over time, man, I think back in 2016 or 2017, I finally was like, man, let me go ahead and make this thing official and get my LLC, limited liability company.
That's the first step.
That's the first step. And we're in Austin, Texas, so I didn't even know at the time about the Secretary of State and what all I had to do. You know what I mean? I'm like, dang.
Hey, pay attention, people.
Come on now. This could be an educational piece, for real.
This could.
So, man, from then on, I was like, okay, and I had already been training clients. At the time, it wasn't corporate accounts, because even sometimes when you get corporate accounts, they want to know that you're truly incorporated, right? Yeah. And so, man, from then on, man, it went from training my clients and then also to getting these corporate accounts downtown here in Austin, and also too when I lived in Houston.
Yeah.
And from there, I don't know if you guys know this, but I was the only Black-owned yoga studio in all of Austin. I closed my doors in 2000. Yeah, bro.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Just the fact that you did that.
Yeah.
And that's a marginalized area too. Like, we don't got a lot of Black folks and Black folks doing yoga.
Come on now.
I know I'm from South Florida, man, and usually it's like not a lot of us teaching yoga classes. So that speaks on your diversity and your ability to do different things, man. So shout out on that.
Man, appreciate you, man. And with my company, obviously the LLC, Isom Zone, but of course I was DBA. My doing business as the name of my studio was Everybody Studios. Now check this out. Peep this game. So I named it Everybody Studios. One, because as you mentioned, this wellness space is not diverse.
Yeah.
Even when you come to Austin, one thing that drew me to Austin was it was a fitness oriented community. However, when you think about Whole Foods and when you think about some of these most of these yoga studios, they're not in the communities that look like me.
Yeah.
And so I say, you know what? Not only am I a yoga instructor, but what if I just created what I wanted to see in this world? And so I opened my own studio. And of course, at the time we had yoga, we had dance classes, we had pole fitness classes, we had group fitness classes, all kind of things. So it was a kaleidoscope of different things that we offered. But everybody, meaning we wanted the wellness space for everybody, regardless of the race, the color, the creed, the socioeconomic status. And I don't care if you tall. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I get pumped up about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So that's why when and just to kind of cap this off, man, and just kind of where my why is, that's why I connected with you. I was like, bro, like, in talking about lending money to like these small businesses and these minority communities, which is what I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
When I came home from overseas and playing ball, I noticed that my own family, see, I'm used to being around athletes.
Yeah.
But when you come home, all of a sudden, I'm witnessing people that are not athletes, which is my family, suffering from high blood pressure, diabetes, and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, hold on. Like, wait a minute, I've been fooled. I'm thinking, everybody's in shape. And of course, when we come home during the summer, we all lounging around, but I thought that was just a summertime thing. No, when I'm seeing day to day, I'm seeing people around me die and suffer and not having really access and resources to these
Let's
things.
stop there because I want to point vision on that right there. Let's think how impactful you just shone light on your journey of what you did, bro. And I don't want to stop you. I want you to have you finish up. Going, but because his son's in school in basketball, and like
he got his first dunk yesterday. How old is he? 15. He 15.
First dunk. First dunk, but he's in the mix of his life where sports is all he knows. You said you come home and you see this opportunity, it's really a disparity, but it's an opportunity that you're trying to change it into an opportunity to help because you're like, you thought it was just coming home and everybody's chilled back, but then you figure out because this is the same thing in the Mexican culture. Like every time you come back from work, kick back and drink.
Yeah.
Every time you come back from work, eat like high fatty foods. And then you made a correlation there. Not a lot of people can make that connection. And that's the thing about man,
come on.
Because that's how it's not just these investors that can see opportunity.
Absolutely.
It's not just these people that don't come from our background that can see an opportunity. It's like people of our, we're smart too. We are intelligent. We are powerful. That's what I told my son. I'm like, you're intelligent. You're a Mexican. You can do it.
I like that.
You feel me? He's like, I'm a Mexican, Dad. I'm like, yeah, you are. You're an Estrada. You're gonna get in. I'm like, but that's powerful. I just wanted to take a moment just to applaud you, dude, because that right there, I'm gonna give you your flowers there because that I think is the most impactful that you saw an opportunity. So I guess that, and I'll let you continue. So I guess that was your leeway of you see something, right?
My biggest thing was always, man, you see a need, you meet a need. And the challenging part for me, man, because I'm such a passionate individual when it comes to this topic, is okay. So, because a lot of the stuff and how I ran my business at first, it was like heart-centered, spirit-centered.
Yeah.
But then it's like, man, well, if that's the case, man, you might as well start a 501c3 nonprofit. If it's so. But I was like, nah, I'm a businessman. You know what I mean? I went to school. My major is business. My minor is kinesiology and studying of the body. But of course, as you know, our community, and even coming home from overseas in our community, they didn't have no knowledge to tell me and teach me the rules of the game. You know what I mean? And so I had to learn, man, trial and error. And also, too, I could see if I was in real estate or something that was very, very lucrative, even though the health and wellness industry is a multi-billion, trillion-dollar industry. However, when you talk about for our people, it kind of lags a little bit. And so I was fighting against the grain. You know what I mean? Like you said, I saw a need, I saw a purpose within creating my business, man. And like I say, it hasn't been easy, I would say. Because like you said, funding, the people around you that you're trying to help, not only are they suffering from a lot of different things, but they lack the resources to even go to a Whole Foods. I remember when my mom, man, and I'm pretty sure all y'all know this, when we grew up, man, when we was going to the store, it wasn't like, oh, we're gonna go to Whole Foods and get the best quality meat. My mom and my brothers, they used to be like, yo,
multi-pack.
You know, right there.
Yeah.
You get greater value, you know what I mean?
Yeah, greater value.
And so what is that doing to our bodies? What is that doing to our minds? What is that doing to, and then we teaching our youth this, what is it doing to our youth? And so for me, man, for a lot of different reasons, man, a lot of what I'm doing when it comes to my business is a huge part of my why, it's a huge part of my purpose, it's a huge part of my calling. And like I say, man, over time, I'm learning how to really be a legitimate and bona fide business owner to where I can go to some of these corporations, which I have partnered with, to put on health and wellness events around the city. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of where my passion and my why. And I'll say this, brother, and I'll let you have the floor.
Yeah.
Man, what I'm trying to do now is I ain't gonna lie, I prefer to be more behind the scenes now. Because I think people see me and they say, oh man, Chris Isom and that. But I'd rather be behind the scene and run the business side of things and develop those business-to-business partnerships and strategically plan on how we can expand on the vision. Because for myself, I've given so much of my own mental, spiritual bandwidth to this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now it's time for me to scale back and develop strategic partnerships, because obviously working hard is one thing. We grew up working hard. You know that, man. You're a Mexican American. We're Black American. You know what I'm saying? But now, how do we get funding? How do we, you know what I'm saying, work smarter and harder, or work smarter, not harder, and bridge that gap? You know what I mean?
And so that's together.
Kind of and together.
And together.
And I'm pretty sure y'all heard this. I promise I'm going to stop talking right now. You guys have heard this. If you want to go far, if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you got to go together.
Yep.
And so that's just kind of where I'm at with what I'm doing with my business.
I like that one. I like that
stuff like that. So.
Give me some raw feedback of what you've experienced out there. Let's say walking into a Chase, Wells Fargo, any experience that you can think in your top of your mind that just stood out as a moment. And when I say give it, I'm trying to be the devil's advocate here. Yeah. So it could be good, bad, or ugly. Yeah. But like, I want just to hear the raw of what your experience was, you know, going out there as a business owner, trying to get funding, trying to understand the ropes. What was Chris's experience? Isom, right?
Isom Zone.
Isom Zone.
So, well, first of all, it's been a challenge. Because like I say, we grew up not understanding business as a whole. You know what I mean? If I wanted to just go buy something that costs, I don't know, let's say I want to go buy a Mac computer.
Yeah.
$3,000. People are like, oh, cool, I'm gonna just go get that today if you got good credit, even if it's for your business. But if you don't have that type of credit and these people won't give you that money, guess what? You have to literally go say, you know what, I gotta work X amount of hours and I gotta work X amount of days just to pay cash.
Yeah.
Look at the physical bandwidth. Look at the energy that we're exerting to even just try to go get something that most people can just say, oh, I just put it on my business account. Or I just put it on my credit card. You know what I'm saying? So we this mindset of working hard just to pay it off. And when you pay that cash, now you don't have no money. Now you got to work hard again.
Yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of us, in terms of business is concerned, we get defeated. And even with myself. And even when you start an LLC, and then you can get a business line of credit. But if you haven't had any kind of business loans or anything, they're going to actually look at your personal credit to determine how much money, if at all, that they're going to give you. And although these are separate entities, right, as far as personal and an LLC, man, they still have to kind of look at your credit and to try to find out if he's worthy or she's worthy of giving finances to it. So from my experience, man, I've been denied in my early stages and been denied a lot. Initially, I'm thinking like, dang, obviously I must be Black and this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? And so when you get denied, there's no education behind why. They're just telling you that you're getting denied, and they say they're going to send you this TransUnion report, and you're looking at it, but then
it doesn't tell you nothing.
It don't tell you nothing.
It just says,
you know what I'm saying?
You've been denied. This is your credit score, and it gives a whole bunch of malarkey. But it's no. They call it in the financial terminology where they call it a disposition. You know where you stand in your position. Right. What are some of those challenges that you encountered, like trying to figure that out?
Yeah, man. First of all, like you said, so to your point, as far as doing research, I feel like, man, that in and of itself stomps a lot of people because there's a lot of misinformation out there. And then in addition to that, if you got to pay X amount of dollars to even gain the information, people just give up on it. You know what I mean? And so it took me a while, to be honest with you, brother, to even, I said I started my LLC in 2017, so that's 6 years ago. And before that, I was running my business as a lot of people do, not really official, because I didn't understand the jargon and how to even get this thing started. You know what I mean? And then, of course, you know, sometimes there's limiting factors before you even take the first step to get it. People are, myself included, my credit, or man, I don't know this type of information, or who can I talk to? Who can I run to even give me this information? And so when you're denied, especially when you're passionate about what it is that you're passionate about, that's a blow to you know what I'm saying? And so, and a lot of people don't even come back from that. You know what I mean? They just give up on it. For me, the trial and error for me, man, especially when not having family members to even tell me or teach me, the banks are not teaching you that letter that you get. It just tells you your standing, but it doesn't give you the information. And I think nowadays they got they have some beautiful guys and beautiful black brothers, man. They got the Earn Your Leisure podcast now that I pay attention to. They got Sleepers for Suckers. I'm interested in them. And now there's representation of people that look like me that are actually speaking about these things now. And this has really been since the pandemic. I'm pretty sure you guys know. But even when somebody tells me about why Chris or your business wasn't able to get funded, or why me personally wasn't able to get funded, a lot of the people didn't look like me and they were talking over my head even when they was telling me the information. You know what I'm saying? Come on, dog. So it's like, you telling me this, but I'm not even really computing this. And even when it comes to the wellness piece, I'm still educating. You know what I'm saying? And so education is important, man. You gotta have knowledge, as the old adage goes, knowledge is power. So man, I think just even having that understanding and that knowledge and educating people on it, you know what I'm saying? I think that's huge. That's important. How else is somebody gonna know? You know what I mean? And they got a lot of gatekeepers out here. And so I think it's important what you guys are doing.
What do you mean by gatekeepers, if you don't mind me asking? Can you dive a little bit deeper into that?
Yeah, I believe and I know for sure that there's a hidden agenda between corporations or even entities or groups of people that are hell-bent on prohibiting certain group of demographics of people from having access. Sometimes it takes catastrophic events like these things to happen in order for people to change the paradigm. And if that's what needed to happen, God bless the dead and all of that, but if that's what needed to happen in order for people to take a deeper look at what's really going on out here, then I have to count it as a good thing in that sense. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, we don't have to lose lives to get there. You see what I'm saying? And I'm just in the position right now, man. I don't want us to fall backwards no more. Let's fall. If we're gonna fall, let's fall forward. And how do we do that, man? We have to have forward thinking. And then also too, you mentioned this, like, man, how much money is these other demographics when you take away the gatekeeper? Man, there's people from all walks of life, black and brown people, spending tons of money. I think the black community, I think we spending like $3 trillion a year, something of that nature. If you know what I'm saying? If money is important and you guys want our economy to boost, why not include these people in this capitalistic society and offer them an opportunity to, because we're gonna spend our money, but you gotta be able to, it has to be a great ecosystem in order for it to do it. And so if we cut off a supply of water or a blood supply, it's gonna be dead. So same with the economy here. You can't cut off a supply from a group of people and expect the economy to rise. That's why we're in a recession now. You know what I'm saying? And so I think if any regular or savvy business person can tell you that, dude, if you give these people knowledge, first of all, financial education, because everybody talks about financial freedom, but before we have financial freedom, we have to have financial literacy and education. You know what I'm saying? So give them the education, and then we can start lending them the money because they have the education, and we're gonna start seeing this wheel turn. And so that, man, that's just kind of what you guys are doing. I'm actually naturally passionate about. Y'all just were able to create this thing. And so, man, like I said, man, there's a lot of different things that I can talk about when it comes to business from my own experience. or even just having a 10,000-foot view and looking at the landscape of what's happening. Like, it's
I like
crazy,
that. I like
man.
that. I
It's
like
crazy, dude.
If I were to give you a platform that gave you free education, that gave you a payment system that's way better than anything that's out there that actually benefits the community, and then funding that a certain percentage of that funding, all the proceeds don't go to us, also go back to our community, but it helps your business out. I mean, wouldn't you pay maybe $50 a month, maybe $40 a month, or just period? Would you pay for something like that?
Absolutely.
Or even would you, even if there was even free portions of it, would you use it? Would I build enough trust, or did we build enough trust for you to say, hey, I'm gonna come to MoneFi when I need my funding,
Absolutely.
when I need to send money?
Absolutely.
I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna circle around the block to get to the
I like that. Go ahead.
So one thing, and let me go jump back into the thing that you said as far as cognitively. And you said neurons firing, and we got to understand this too about people that because part of the work I do, y'all, is some of my certifications I got as a personal guy is trauma informed healing centered work, right? And so when we talk about mental health and well being, and so we also have to take into account that some people from these communities, when you're talking about learning disabilities, and not the fact that they can't learn, but a lot of people are dealing with a lot of trauma. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that trauma, man, does not allow some of those neurons to fire as rapidly as it could and as it should. And I think, man, sometimes when you learn a little bit slower, because it's hard to tell somebody to swim to a shore, right, when they can't even keep their head above the water. You telling me to invest into something, bro, I'm trying to figure out when I'm about to eat tonight. You know what I'm saying? And so I think, one, we have to express a little bit of patience when we're learning and we're trying to teach and educate and facilitate learning in any capacity. And in particular, when it talks about finances. So I want to say that, number one. And then number two, absolutely. I think anybody would pay for a platform if they find value in it. There's some yoga studios out here right now that are donation-based. I'll say this. That gives, because yoga memberships, man, on average, man, is like $125, $150 a month. Most people not gonna pay that. That's for my community. And that's why they have these donation-based platforms. Let me say this though. Those donation platforms, I don't care if you make it donation, I don't care if you make it free. If these people still don't feel welcome, if there's still not a lot of representation at your studio, they not gonna come. You see what I'm saying? So I think A, there has to be representation. I think B, people have to find some type of value or safe space that, man, like these people actually really truly do care about me. You know what I'm saying? So whether it's free or whether they pay, people will pay as long as they find value. And if it's free, I don't care if it's free. They're not going to pay if they don't see A, the value, or they don't feel like the people that care. And so with MoneFi, of course, man, if there's a subscription base, I know people will pay. And there's this misconception that people in various communities, they don't have the bread and they ain't gonna pay.
Nah.
Man, we spending money.
We just move money differently, man.
Yeah.
And you ain't gonna see it because like that comes from trauma from generations, man. Because we used to get robbed from like where I come from, but then even our generations got robbed. I don't want to get into that, man. That goes into them. I was gonna be a history major. Okay. Yeah. But we know we spend money when we want to spend the money, man. Yeah. So
to quickly answer your point, I would pay. I know there's people that would pay for that, and people just need to know that somebody cares. So going back to the free membership, if there was representation and they knew somebody cared, they coming. If it's free and they don't think people care, and it's in the community or various people that's gatekeeping even still, they're not gonna come. Yeah, so check it out. Once again, it's Chris Isom. That's ISOM, Isom Zone LLC. You guys can also find me on Instagram as @IsomZone. Guys, I'm out here in the communities. The book is coming out during the holiday season. I would love for you guys to check it out. It's called Unlocking Your Inner Hero, Vitality Quest. It's going to chronicle mental health and well-being for our youth, physical education, as well as proper nutrition. It's an interactive workbook. So it's going to have puzzles. It's going to have coloring pages. It's going to have 7 short stories, all kinds of different things. You can get it for your family and all of the kids to enjoy.
What's the book called again?
It's called Vitality Quest, Unlocking Your Inner Hero.
Will it be on Amazon?
It'll be on Amazon. It'll be on all platforms, man. We'd love for you guys to partake in that. There's smoothie recipes. There's all kind of stuff, man, that you can enjoy for the whole family. So that's the project that I'm working on right now. Like I said, you guys can find me on Isom Zone on Instagram. Just tap in with me, man. I'll be doing a lot of different stuff in the communities. and you'll know where to find me there. All right, peace.